How you doing? I'm Ty Knight for TK24 Sports. Now on today's show, we're looking at the tie that is, of course, Villarreal versus Arsenal. Arsenal away from home in this two-legged tie. Now, this is a big game for Arsenal. And this is one of two big games, if I'm honest with you. If you look at the dynamics of this game, it's going to really, truly define Mikel Arteta's future. It's going to more than likely define the future of Stan Kroenke and potentially majority of the stars, because if Arsenal do not get through over these two-legged to the final, then to win it, I dare not to think what is actually going to happen to this squad. Of course, some of the youngsters are going to stay, but would Aubameyang stay at the end? Lacazette will most probably go. David Luiz will definitely go. Willian would have to go, and the main reason is because these are some of the biggest owners of the club. So it's not just about getting into the Champions League. It's actually bigger than that. It's bigger because how would Arsenal be able to keep these stars with the amount of money that they've lost so far and the amount of money that they're about to lose as well? So how do we see it going forward? How do we actually see Arsenal winning this game? And this is the big thing. Guess who they're up against? Of course, Unai Emery. The majority of the fans who said he was no good has managed to get Villarreal to the semi-finals. Now, if Unai Emery actually beats Mikel Arteta, does that make him a better manager? Does it make him a better tactician? Does it make him a better all-round, I guess, coach, can we say? Because on paper, you'd turn around and say most probably Arsenal have the better team than Villarreal. But do they have the better manager? And this is what we're about to see. A lot of people can argue and turn around and say, well, you know, Arteta won the FA Cup and Unai Emery did not. But Unai Emery actually finished higher than Mikel Arteta. So, you know, this is the game where we're going to see who is better. Now, my issue with Arteta is that I think he's trying to be like Pep. He tries things in games where they're not even needed to be tried. Let's try it on FIFA or Football Manager. Don't do it in an actual game. And the main reason is because, well, I don't think he's actually really qualified to do so just yet. I mean, he hasn't had too many games under his belt, and he keeps on tinkering and changing and trying things, and he can't seem to get his team out of first gear in, 60, 70 minutes at times. He seems to have to go in half-time losing to get the team firing, but is that more of a personnel or is that more of the manager? And this is the hard thing. So am I judging him based on the team that he has, or am I judging him based on what we see from him? Because it seems that he can get his team fired up for the second half when they're behind or not playing well, but he can't seem to get it fired up from the beginning. And that's a damning thing. Now, with Unai Emery, don't get me wrong, he seemed to be all over the place with the tactics, and maybe it was more of a language barrier as to why Arsenal failed more than as to why they succeeded. Now, you have to think, as bad as they were, as we thought as bad as they were under Unai Emery, how bad are Arsenal under Arteta? Emery did not have the weapons now that Arteta has. So maybe Arsenal could have been better. Maybe it was just the player power. Maybe, there's a lot of maybes, but I think tonight's very good. I think tonight is a good tale to see just how far Arteta has come and just how good Emery is. I mean, you have to remember, this guy has won it 3 times in a row. There's something about this manager that is good. Like, he didn't have a good time at PSG, but then neither did Tuchel. And Tuchel is now at Chelsea, and he's in the semi-final of the Champions League. He's in the final of the FA Cup, and he's fighting for 4th place. So sometimes it's not always the manager. Sometimes it's the personnel that is just not that good. And not sometimes the manager. And I think this is what we're about to see with Arsenal tonight. Maybe it's the personnel that's just bad, or maybe the manager is just that good. And we're about to find out, and some players just don't respond to certain managers, and that's just the way of life, isn't it? I mean, it's like pretty much in a job that you may most probably do, where, you know, people around you is kind of cool, but you just don't get onto the manager because the manager is quite strict and hard, and you just don't get the philosophy, and you kind of want to chill and relax. But this guy is just demanding things of you that actually you just cannot do. I'm not saying you personally, but you know what I mean. Well, maybe I am saying you personally. But it's just one of these things, and I'm looking forward to this game tonight. I'm looking forward to see how far Arteta has really come. Because at this moment, I'm judging him not for the FA Cup win. I'm judging him based over 38 league games. We can look at cup competitions and see, can the players get out for that? And if they can, then it's a bit of a an indictment on the players as well, but it's also an indictment on the manager. And this is what I want to see, is how good is Mikel Arteta now under this pressure? Because this pressure is bigger than it was last season in the FA Cup. This pressure, I believe, is going to determine his future next season. I really do. Because if they don't get through, there is going to be no money. And we know there's no money anyway. And if they don't get through and Kroenke doesn't sell, let's see what the BS is going to be about this one as to why there's no money. So this is why I feel Arteta is under more pressure than Emery, and I think Emery is just going to do a little masterclass. He knows majority of these players. He knows their weaknesses. And one thing about Emery, he's a very, very good tactician of a manager. And that's one thing you can't take away from him. You may laugh at him, the way he speaks. You may even criticize some of the way he plays the football. But one thing you can't say, and that he doesn't know, is football. He knows football. And we're going to find out tonight. And the scary part is, if he wins, or if they win tonight 3-0, it's game over. It's by Arteta, in my opinion, because you can't spend the sort of money that you spent, have the players now that you have, that Emery didn't have, and he's managed to outclass you. So Emery's more than likely got more determination to beat Arsenal, to say to him, you got rid of me for that. You got rid of me. Okay, I finished 5th. It didn't go to plan. He didn't give me a really good second chance for that. For someone who's going to make you finish maybe 9th, 10th, 11th, what, for an FA Cup? And then you're going to have no European success next season? Whereas I beat you, I'm going to play Roma or United, beat them, and then go get this team in the Champions League? And you let me go for that? That's the big thing. So anyway, what's your thoughts? What do you think the score is going to be tonight? Leave your comments below, and make sure you like, subscribe, and turn that notification so you do not miss a show every time we upload. Thank you for watching. I'm Ty Knight for TK24 Sports, and we'll see you soon.